We're here, strictly ball business. We're talking about the Utah Jazz heading into the playoffs. They're 45-28, firmly in the 4 seed. Firmly in a way, so to speak. I don't think they're too shaky, but they did just lose by nearly 30 points to Boston. That was tough.
Boston's been rolling. It's hard not to lose to Boston right now.
Yeah, I mean, Boston's fucking around, might get the 1 seed all of a sudden. So
yeah, they've been on a tear. But I mean, this isn't about. But yeah, they've gone from like 8th seed to possibly 1st. It's kind of crazy the streak they're on.
Yeah, so getting blown out by them, if you're the Jazz, it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. You're still gonna finish ahead of, for sure, the Nuggets and the Wolves. I'm sure you'll finish ahead of the Mavericks too. You just got to win a few more games here to finish out the season.
Yeah, honestly, I think they have more potential to jump up than lose their seeding. I think they could jump to 3 or 2, especially with the Warrior Steph Curry's injury, and we'll see. I'll talk about that more later. But I mean, jumping into some of the stats that they're sitting at that really directly help their wins is they're 7th in 3-point percent. 3rd in rebounding. They have the best offensive rating in the NBA. 10th defense. Honestly, best offensive rating. It's kind of crazy with Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, that was surprising, to be honest, to see them number 1. I knew they were amazing last year, but to see them repeat it and even get to number 1 this year is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people who like Rudy Gobert, I like Rudy Gobert, but a lot of them kind of freak out when you say he's not the best offensive player, because they're like, oh, he averages 16 a game. And I'm like, granted, I'm not saying he's a bad offensive player, but he's very limited. He's not versatile at all, does not shoot the basketball. He's just very good at what he does, which is rolling to the basketball and sitting in the dunker spot. And he's very efficient at it, don't get me wrong. He's 60, 70% in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, he's just, hyper efficient in his role. And I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. Right now, he is a debatable top 3 center in the NBA. For sure, he's top 4.
Yeah.
This guy's having another amazing season, might get his 4th Defensive Player of the Year award. He is just, he's dominating. So in terms of offense, it doesn't really matter that he's not giving you more than 16, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I don't think he's the issue with this team or what's preventing them from moving forward. Aside from that, moving into it. So they're 19th in turnovers, and they're 22nd in pace, 29th in assist percent. Mike Conley, I loved when he signed here. He was great. If only I knew he was in the twilight of his career.
He was great last year when he was healthy.
Last year he was
this
really
year
good. I wouldn't say
pretty
great.
Abysmal.
Yeah, he's shown. I mean, he's a great veteran, but if he wasn't taking up a max contract and supposed to be that second guy, I mean, you can argue
he just signed that extension before this season too.
Yeah, and so let me look down. So these are the guys. So Rudy Gobert, argue with me all you want. He's not the second option on this team, nor should he be. He's the big man defensive center. He's not going to be that guy. That's just speaking for anyone. There's
no way he could be the second option because he's just not involved enough in the offense for that to be possible.
Right. And so you got Bojan. He's the second leading scorer, 18 points a game. Is Bojan your second star? He's only going to get worse as we go. That's not a bad thing. He's averages 18 points a game, but he's in his zoning in on his mid 30s. He's not going to be that superstar
shooter.
they need to win.
He's got good length. He's still a veteran in a lot of ways. Maybe he hasn't been in the NBA as long as some guys, but played a lot of Euro ball. This is a guy that I trust in the playoffs.
Definitely great to have on a team if they had that second star. J-Cap, 6th man of the year, always consideration. He's awesome. I don't think
he might be the second option in a way.
Honestly, I think he is. He fills that role, and I don't think he's the issue here. I think between him, Mitchell, and Gobert, those 3 pieces are pretty set. I think that's fine where you're at. And then Conley,
and
13
obviously
points a game.
Joe Ingles fell off. They don't have him anymore. That was a key point for them a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Mike Conley is in his twilight years here, like you said, but Rudy Gay gives them some nice minutes. Hassan Whiteside's had a great season, in terms of what we were expecting, at least. Kudos to him for finding a good fit for himself.
Yeah.
And Donovan Mitchell is such a star that he can carry a lot of these guys. So, it's not necessarily a bad thing that they don't have like another like uber great scoring option because, they just let Donovan cook. But obviously, things might be easier if they did have a more bona fide star next to him.
Yeah, so that's what breaks it down to is Donovan Mitchell averages 26 points a game. Insane. Also, though, he's taken 22, 25 shots a game, which granted, that's a lot of shots. Granted, though, like he's doing it fine. They're winning the games, but when it comes to playoffs, he's all they can lean on. And it kind of, I mean, you'd like to think as Jazz, like you can go out to Boshin, but I don't think until they get that real second offensive superstar, I don't think they're going to win a championship. Which
I don't think they're going to get another guy like that very easily, though. They locked themselves into a Mike Conley extension because that's like the best they could get for a guy that wants to come and play in Utah. Like
small market tax.
Like it's like it just is what it is. Like if they could trade for someone, that would be fantastic. But what contracts are going to be able to offload in that? You've got some contracts that have some potential to be pretty bad here soon.
Yeah, I think if they're willing to just leverage their future, which this team specifically, I'm all for.
They should. I mean, like, what's going to happen otherwise? Like, in a few years, they lose Donovan, and then they go back to rebuild anyways.
I think depending upon what the Trailblazers look like, and I know I've mentioned them a million times, but this is the spot. Like, this is my dream spot for Damian Lillard for anything. I think that would be insane.
There's no way he'll go there.
What do you mean? I think...
Why would he want to go there? There's no way.
I think they've established that their culture.
He would probably enjoy playing with Mitchell
and Gobert. I think that's ideal.
Don't you think Dame wants to? I feel like Dame wants to just stay in Portland. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean we'll see.
I feel like at this point,
idea what
like
Portland's
he's
doing.
locked in there for his career.
Yeah, we'll see. Also, though, but they've been talking Bradley Beal. This would be a great spot. I think it could work if you move Donovan to the one. I think Donovan can play the one. He played it in college. It's just his playmaking isn't the best, and that's what they're not. Not that it's the best. It's not championship level elite playmaker. You know what I mean? Like Chris Paul, Drew Holiday, Steph Curry type. He's not that type of playmaker, and that's my only struggle with.
I think it'd be great if they could
obviously probably going to leave
that type of playmaker next to Donovan Mitchell. That's where they would really succeed.
So you can make an argument that Conley is that playmaker, and I think at one point he was.
I think that's why they brought Conley in, was that idea,
and the defense. Yeah,
he's just not as effective scoring, which they need a little bit of both.
Right,
a guy who's efficient.
A lot of people want to look at this team and say all the talent's there. You got like 20 point per game scores plus Gobert, the defensive player of the year. I'm like, and they want to put it on Quentin Snyder. I don't think it's actually Quentin Snyder's fault. I look at it like he's done. No, he and Donovan Mitchell and Rudy dragged that Jazz team into relevancy. Like I remember that they beat the James Harden Rockets their first time in the playoffs. That's insane. Or either that or they got close. I don't remember. But either they beat them the second time or they pushed them to 7 games on just a rookie Donovan Mitchell. Like, and plus Quentin Snyder.
I mean, they for sure went to, I think, the second round that season with him.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, because he beat that was the reason why.
They beat the Clippers?
No, it was the OKC. That was the reason.
OKC.
That wasn't the reason. That was the Trailblazers. Forget what I said. But
forget it all.
The Jazz, I look at this team and I'm like, they're one step away from a championship. And like they've been there, they're sitting there. I think they know that. I just want to see them. It's easier said than done getting that second star, and they've done a great job. When they knew they couldn't get a second star, they went out and got these guys that can keep them playing. Like pull out guys like Nah and Rudy Gay, and they pull out Hassan Whiteside. There's still a spot like when you're a small market and you want to get a star, like they've done everything you need to do. They're like, hey, we've proven success just come to fucking Utah, man. Like that's
Yeah.
it. Like it's not even bad here.
I mean, they even have Dwayne Wade as a partial owner now, and it's the racism why people don't want to go there, and it's the Mormonism. It's like
Yep.
it has the stigmas, but Utah's beautiful.
No, yeah. I think they have everything going for them aside from being a small market, and I'd like to see them. I do think peak this year. I think if they can push themselves into that third or second, I think conference finals is where they can end up. I only see the Suns really beating them. A healthy Warriors, especially with Steph Curry the way he is, he's injured out. Draymond Green just came back. We'll see.
I mean, I don't really trust the Warriors right now.
Yeah.
I think like the only, like obviously Grizzlies have been really solid too, but
Right.
you know, how do we haven't even seen them in a full playoff series before with John Morant. But the Suns, like, they're really the only sure thing that I know of right now.
Yeah, with as explosive as Donovan Mitchell is in the playoffs, I'm not sure the Grizzlies have the weapons to defend him or to pull a defensive scheme around him. Also, you're asking Steven Adams to do a lot with Rudy Gobert, which granted is fine.
Who wins best of 7 Jazz Mavs?
Jazz Mavs?
Mhm.
I would have the Jazz in 6. Oh, best of 7? Jazz anyway. If it goes to 7, I'd have the Jazz. They've just proven that
just
they
like
have the pedigree to
in
do
year
it.
7. So like whatever.
Oh.
If you're saying they win it in 6 games, that's
Yeah.
fine too.
Jazz in 6.
Jazz versus Wolves.
Jazz in 5.
Oh, you motherfucker! Piece of.
I just feel like Rudy's gonna like lock down the paint. Cat's gonna get really angry, and a lot of what happened last night. Granted, last night was every time you face the Suns, the officiating's gonna be horrible against you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just the Chris Paul effect, minus Scott Foster.
Yeah, I mean Chris Paul wasn't playing, but
No, but he's there. Was he there?
yeah,
Yeah, he was
well,
there.
yeah, on the bench.
Yeah, but I mean, he's like essentially just a coach anyway at this point. If Chris Paul doesn't coach,
he does so much in terms of as a player as well.
no, that's not what I mean. I mean like he has the effect of him on the floor isn't completely lost when he's just sitting on the bench. That's what I mean. Like yeah, he's a great player. But I'm saying like his effect.
Yeah, he'll definitely be a head coach when he's done with the league.
He better be. He's him and Rondo are like the smartest players I've ever seen play basketball. Obviously, LeBron is. You can't take that away.
It's just so funny, like all the players that we watched growing up that now they're just becoming head coaches, like Steve Nash, and we didn't watch Steve Kerr obviously, but
No.
Derek Fisher was a head coach for a sec. Luke Walton,
Derek Fisher, yeah. Tim Duncan,
just random ass. Yeah, Tim Duncan, he'll be a head coach someday, which is interesting.
probably for the Spurs.
Yeah, I never thought like that would be what he was going to be interested in. He didn't like strike me as that guy.
You didn't know what he was interested in other than just wearing like faded jeans and not talking.
He got like twirls in his hair after he retired.
Yeah, he went crazy.
He's like, yeah, I smoke pot now. My accountant stole over $2 million from me. I'm gonna be a head coach.
Fuck yeah.
I think we've talked a lot about the Jazz. Kind of trailed off, anyways. But yo, strictly ball business. I'm Alec, and this is Dalton. We always talk about the NBA. Come join us, and let's have some fun.